I'm Ranvir Singh, and I'm a journalist and a presenter, and you've probably seen me on Good Morning Britain or Lorraine, on many other shows on ITV and earlier on in the BBC. So I've been around for a little while.
Hello, Ranvir. You've had an incredibly inspiring career in broadcasting. Will you tell us how you got into the industry?
I can, and I always feel like there's a pressure to say I knew from when I was 12 I wanted to do this, it was my only dream. But actually that's not true. I did English literature and philosophy at university, which was a complete anathema to my entire family because obviously you can't be a doctor, so why on earth are you doing that degree? It made no sense to anybody. And I actually just assumed that I would do law. I just thought that's what I'm going to do. And as I started looking, I went up to the Careers Library at Lancaster University, looked through, and I thought, gosh, I didn't realise how expensive it was to study law, to be a barrister. It's going to take 5 years, thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds, which I did not have. So I was in quite a quandary, and I was just quietly contemplating what my next move would be. And I was at the Gurdwara, the Sikh temple in Preston, where I grew up. And I was in the Langar hall where you have the food. And there was a girl who was older than me, part of the congregation that we'd known for many years. And she just sort of casually over the shoulder, she said, "What are you going to do after uni?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know." "What do you do?" I said, "Oh, English." And she paused and she went, "Oh, I've got a friend who did English and she works for the BBC." And it was literally like I'd been struck by lightning. It was such a strange experience because immediately I just went, and I honestly tell you, from that moment onwards, every single thing has always clicked into place, everything. And so it's just that inspirational moment. I felt very like a divine intervention, actually.
Funnily enough, you mentioned in an interview that getting that call to do the news at 10 for ITV was a big moment. What happened and where were you?
So actually it's really interesting because when I got that call from ITV to do the iconic news at 10 with the Big Ben bongs at the beginning of the news, the Trevor McDonald, news at 10, that is the iconic status of this programme. And what happened 8 weeks before that call was I had my contract ended early. I was a single mum. My son was only a year and a half, and I was devastated and I cried and I was just rocking my little toddler, and I thought, what am I going to do? I don't know what to do. The next day I put on a red dress, this nice shift dress, and I made a call and I said to ITN, which was sort of separate from where I was working, and I said, "Oh, can I just come and see the editor for a meeting? Because as you know, things are changing where I am, and I'd like to see if there's any work. I just needed some work." And I went in, and the editor saw me, and he said, "Oh yeah," he said, I've looked you up now, and I can see that your career's been doing that, but now it's doing that." And I don't know where it came from. I was just like, that's not true. I said, "I only go one way. I only go that way, so I can do it here or anywhere else, I don't mind. But I only go that way." And I don't even know what made me speak in that way, but he just was like, "Oh, right, okay." And immediately he looked on his shift pattern and he went, "Do you want to do a Saturday shift?" I went, "Yes." I did a Saturday shift doing the news. Then I did a Sunday shift, which was slightly higher up in the hierarchy. And then literally 8 weeks later, having done a few more shifts, and I got a phone call, and I thought I was going to get told off about something. And he just went, "Are you ready for this?" I went, "What?" He went, "Are you free on Friday to do news at 10? And I was like a cartoon character, like when the cartoon character slides down the cliff and it's like, I was like that. I just slid down the sofa. I was not cool about it. And one of the best moments of my whole career, that phone call.
You have reported on some remarkable stories. What's the one that stands out to you today?
The first thing that springs to mind is going into the White House to meet Trump, to report on Theresa May meeting President Trump for the first time after his election this would have been 2016, 2017. So I remember walking through the white pillars going into the White House and just realising that there were many more, much more experienced journalists around me who were also gasping and taking videos. And I thought, great, we are all having a moment here. If only my dad could have seen this, he would not have believed, he would have knocked his socks off. He would never have believed that I was doing what I was doing in that moment.
I wanted to ask you how your personal style differed from your professional style.
So my professional style tends to be quite either geometric or clean cut with clean necklines. Generally, because in news, I don't really like big patterns, I don't like big flowers. Sometimes you have to wear them, but I like quite bold statement colours, block colours, because in essence the news can change. So you could be thinking you're going to do a sort of reasonably happy show, and then before you know it, something has happened and you've got to break the news. So also the thing is, your clothes, when you're in a professional setting, they can't distract. I don't like sort of frills around the neck or too much detail, because I feel like when people are watching, I don't really necessarily want them going, oh, what's that shirt doing? What's that collar doing? I want them to be listening to what we're talking about. So outside of work, I'm very, very low-key. I'm basically like your local dog walker.
If you were getting up in the morning and you were going to work, what piece of jewellery would you pick up first? A bracelet, a necklace, rings, earrings?
I think that the only thing I would feel underdressed without is a pair of earrings. I love earrings. I love sort of bigger ones. I've never really been a fan of tiny studs, because I always feel like somehow my face needs more. Yeah, earrings are my thing.
Tell us about some of your favourite Kiki pieces that you picked out.
Oh, this. I love the jazz ring. This is, I think if you were to ask anybody who knows me to pick a piece of jewellery that they think would be me, if you see what I mean. The boldness of it is so beautiful, because I'm not one for wearing loads of jewellery, so one bold thing that catches the eye is really, less fuss, but quite a lot of impact.